The deathmatch approaches. It's time to practice your
Yes.
10-minute renders. It's time.
Yep.
It's time. If you are participating, it is. There's not a lot of time left, and I hope you're ready because it's going to be quick. I don't know if everybody's really aware of what they're getting into. If they haven't practiced, the first time that you do it, and you sit down and you really try and come up with a concept or something, like it's rough. It's tough to do. You've seen us try and do it. But we practiced this weekend, right? Like we were sitting around on Discord. It was when we did the camp tickets, and afterwards there were a bunch of us on. It's like, hey, let's practice 10-minute render randomly, So we did a few. Let's see, I'm going to show you some of them here. So we did some that like were a prompt with like, here's some assets, and then we did a couple that were like no assets, just like just do it, right? Because
that's fun.
You never know. It's good practice, right? So we did the let's see, we did psychedelic railway. This is the first one. We did psychedelic railway.
Those look nice.
So this was one where I provided an asset to use. Right. So everybody, like, I put it in and I said, okay, go. And we did that. And that was fun. Of course, I've got to purchase these models in order to do this. So I wasn't going to do it that many times. So then we decided to do one without, which the prompt for that was swanky eggnog. So this is what we came up with for swanky eggnog.
Does someone have a cigar in his mouth?
That's
or is
mine.
That
That's mine.
What? Okay.
What did you think it was? And it's obviously a cigar.
Obviously.
It's got the wood grain texture from the table on the cigar. Swanky eggnog. I had to make him a mustache. And the eggnog inside is like a grayscale gorilla texture of just like plastic. But, you got to improvise, right? You got to know where these things are. You got to know, okay, what HDRs am I going for? You need a basic space and a daytime and an indoor and maybe a nighttime, right?
Okay.
And I think so you have to have those at the ready. You got to know what your go-to textures are, right? You got to know like all the settings you're going to do. If you're an Octane, you're going to, you got glass. Like this is glass. Can't do them fake shadows. Put that path tracing on, brah.
Yeah. I'm curious if we should have some should we have some default templates that people can just open up? No, because someone's gonna save over it.
Yeah, no, everybody's different, and I feel like that I've been kind of figuring this out, right? And this was so much fun in the Discord this weekend. I'm like, I recorded it, and I'm like, we have to have a way to just do these on a regular basis. So after the death match, I feel like we should do this more, and like maybe it's one day a month. I think week is too much. One day a month, we all meet on Discord and we just go for it and we do this. And maybe we try some other. Maybe we do, we all will do like an hour prompt day and a 30-minute prompt day and a 10-minute prompt day or something. Because I'm figuring out the way to do this. You get the prompt, right, and you got to like start thinking about it first. Okay, so it's in your head. You're going to have X amount of time to figure it out. And you got to figure, okay, I'm going to put this thing in the scene, and I'm just going to build around it, and I'm going to figure the rest of it out as I go. But you're going to need something in there. You're going to need lighting for it. You're going to need an HDR. You're going to need some textures. You're going to need maybe some camera stuff is good. Like put some vignetting on it and put some glow and things on it. You know what I mean? Like all these little things that you're going to probably do to any render. Just think about that. And my mentality has been spend 5 minutes building, and then at that 5-minute mark, you need to be wrapping it up. Because once you hit 30 seconds, and you don't have to render. If you're working in the IPR, you can just screenshot it, right? Let's see. Scott says, what texture material libraries do you have access to for the challenge? So
the GSG texture and everything. Yeah.
And there will be a library of objects and things that now. Don't quote me on this, but I talked to Rev the other day, and there's a possibility we're going to send a link to that library out so people can see what's available first.
No!
Don't quote me on that, but I heard a rumor that that's what's happening. We got to have some phone calls this week to make sure we're on the same page.
Right.
But there will also
But you'll also
not
have
included
the
in there.
Maxon library to where you can just download something, right?
Right.
But it could
also,
take a bit to download. That's...
Well, we'll try and have everything kind of preloaded. But the main thing, though, is that you won't have access to any of the content having to do with the prompts. So, for example, this is the example I've been using. If you have a prompt involving an airplane, we will make sure that there's airplane stuff.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So we don't have the prompts finalized yet. And even if we do, like, we don't want to give it away. So those particular assets, nobody's going to see until until the day, because we don't want to give anything away. Also, the third one we did, Cons stayed around, and we did one more. It was called Utopian Visitor.
Okay.
And mine looks like freaking Beeple taking off on.
Yeah.
Like he's got his khakis on, right?
That's funny.
Utopian Visitor in 10 minutes. I got my GSG Space HDR. I've got a person doing this, and he was already posed. That's from the Maxon library.
Nice.
So, no, it's not using.
Yeah, Cons came up with an interesting way of doing like a quick, colorful HDR where he just does a half dome and then scatters lights all around it, and then randomly affects their color and stuff. And it's kind of neat. He was showing me that this morning.
And Scott says it's not using your own workstation. It will be
no.
We
will have some sweet Puget systems.
Puget laptops, the new Puget laptops, which are amazing. You know, you can load those things up to 24 terabytes of hard drive space. I can imagine if you are doing a documentary or something, and you had a laptop like that, and you're traveling around, you could keep all your footage on it.
Yeah,
and that would be
can
so
you
awesome.
Imagine like if that thing fails?
Well, you'd have to have backups, of course. You have backups of your footage, but you know, one of the things I hate about doing giant projects, you know, when you have to travel and stuff, is that it's hard to access this. I gotta plug my drive in, and you know, I don't know. I love that idea that you could have DaVinci Resolve and all your files and everything just on the laptop, and these things are sweet. Freaking 4090s, you know, they're gonna be great, and they're already set up. I saw a video of it. Winkleman sent us that video, and it's got all the laptops laid out on the table. The table is LCD, or they're LED. So there's going to be graphics on it and all that kind of stuff, you know. So, and next week will be the last show before that competition. So Vernon and Cons are going to come on and do a 10-minute showdown. Yeah, I wanted to try and give Vernon another chance because that was such a terrible episode, the way everything was falling apart.
What we should do is on the headlines one. The headlines. So, or not the headlines, that should be the survey. The survey, who do you think won? And so that everyone can vote, and then, we'll come up with a winner there.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
And that following Monday is actually, we're flying home on Monday. I don't know about you, but
it's going to be, we get home at like 8:30 a.m., but I would rather not do a show 4 hours later.
No. So I don't know if we're going to do a show after that, or if we're just going to skip a show or not. We do have some people that were lining up for interviews and things. We were just trying to get, I've said this before, I think, at the beginning of the year, every year, it's like I can't do anything until NAB is over. It's the ADD, ADHD, whatever. It's like the same as like when you have a meeting and you're like, I can't do anything today until my meeting happens. And then I'm done with it.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same kind of thing. It's like once NAB is over, I can start my year. It takes me a whole quarter to get going.